Jack and the Beanstalk. Once upon a time, there was a boy called Jack, and he lived with his mother in a little house in the country. They were poor and didn't have much of anything, but they did have a cow. Her name was Milky White. One day, when there was no money left to buy any food, Jack's mother told him to take Milky White to the market and sell her. So off he went with the cow. On the way, Jack saw an old man walking down the road, holding his hat very carefully in both hands. "Hello," said the old man. "And where are you going this sunshiny day?" "I'm going to the market to sell our cow." "That's where I'm going," said the old man. "I want to sell these 5 beans I've got in my hat. They are magic beans. If you plant them, they'll grow to the sky, and then you can climb up and get all the treasure that's up there." "Oh, I'd like to do that," said Jack. "Well," said the old man, "let's swap your cow for my beans." "All right," said Jack, and he gave the cow to the old man, took the beans, put them in his pocket, and ran home. When he saw his mother, Jack said, "Look what I got for the cow. 5 magic beans. If you plant them—" "What?" said his mother. "You didn't sell our cow for 5 beans. Oh, Jack, how could you do such a thing?" She was very cross. She grabbed the beans and flung them out of the window. Then she sent Jack up to his room, straight to bed. In the morning, the first thing Jack saw was a whole lot of big dangly leaves outside his window. He jumped out of bed and threw on his clothes. Any old how. Opened the window and looked out. Behind the leaves was a great thick beanstalk which reached up and up right to the sky. Jack swung out of the window and on to the beanstalk, and then he climbed and he climbed. When he reached the sky, he stepped off the top branch and walked along a wide road until he came to a castle. He knocked at the door, and a huge woman opened it. "Please give me something to eat," said Jack. "My husband," said the huge woman, "is a giant, and he eats little boys for breakfast. So run away before he comes and catches you." "But I'm hungry," said Jack. Well, in the end, the giant's wife asked him in and gave him a hunk of bread and a lump of cheese and a mug of milk. But before Jack had finished eating, there was a thump, thump, thump. "Quick, hide," said the giant's wife, and she pushed Jack into the oven. In stamped the giant, roaring, "Fee, fi, fo, fum! I smell the blood of an Englishman." "No, dear," said his wife, "it's the 20 juicy chops, freshly fried for your breakfast. That's what you smell." And with that, she went off to do some housework while the giant ate his breakfast. When he had finished, he stamped over to a big chest and took out his money bag and counted his gold. Then he closed his eyes and began to snore. So Jack crept up out of the oven, picked up the money bag, and tiptoed out. He ran along the road and climbed down the beanstalk. When his mother saw the gold, she was pleased. Now they could buy as much food as they wanted and smart new clothes besides. But after a while, Jack began to wonder what other treasures there were up in the sky, and early one morning he climbed the beanstalk again. He walked along the wide road, and when he came to the castle, he knocked at the door and asked the giant's wife for something to eat. She said, "Are you the rascally boy who came here the day my husband lost his money bag?" "Was the boy wearing smart new clothes like mine?" asked Jack. "No," she said. "No, he wasn't. Must have been someone else." Once again she invited Jack in and gave him a huge hunk of bread, a lump of cheese, and a mug of milk. And when she heard the giant coming, she hid Jack in the oven. In stamped the giant, roaring, "Fee, fi, fo, fum! I smell the blood of an Englishman." "No, dear," said his wife. "It's the 20 juicy sausages, freshly fried for your breakfast. That's what you smell." And with that, she went off to do some housework, while the giant ate his breakfast. When she had finished, he stamped over to a cage, took out a hen, put her on the table, and said, "Lay," and the hen lay a golden egg. Then he closed his eyes and began to snore. So Jack crept out of the oven, picked up the hen, and tiptoed out. He ran along the road and climbed down the beanstalk. He ran into the house, put the hen on the kitchen table, and said, "Lay," and the hen laid a golden egg. Again he said, "Lay," and the hen laid another golden egg. When his mother saw the golden eggs, she was very pleased. Now they could have gold any time they wanted. They were rich. But after a while, Jack began to wonder what other treasures there were up in the sky, and early one morning he climbed the beanstalk again. This time he didn't knock at the castle door. He hid behind a bush, and when the giant's wife came out to hang her laundry on the line, Jack hurried inside. Now where could he hide? He saw a large bin with bread written on it, so he climbed in and pulled the lid on top. Then the giant's wife came back, and in stamped the giant, roaring, "Fee, fi, fo, fum! I smell the blood of an Englishman." Look in the oven, said his wife. If that rascally boy who took your money bag and your hen has come back, that's where he will be. The giant looked in the oven, but it was empty. Then the giant's wife went off to do some housework, while the giant ate his breakfast. When he had finished, he stamped over to a cupboard, took out a golden harp, and said, "Sing." And the harp played sweet music. Then the giant closed his eyes and began to snore. So Jack crept out of the bread bin and picked up the golden harp. But the harp sang out, "Master, master." Then Jack ran out fast as he could. The giant woke, and when he saw Jack running off with the harp, he roared, "I will catch you, rascally boy." Jack ran along the wide road, and the giant ran after him. Jack reached the beanstalk and began to climb down, down, down. The giant reached the beanstalk and he began to climb down, and the giant came closer and closer and closer. When Jack was nearly at the bottom, he shouted, "Mother, quick, bring an axe." And his mother came running out of the house with an axe. Jack jumped to the ground and put down the harp. He picked up the axe and chopped through the beanstalk, and the beanstalk came tumbling down, and the giant with it. And the giant fell so hard and so fast it was the end of him. From then on, Jack and his mother had everything they needed. If they wanted money, they said lay, and the wonderful hen gave them a golden egg. If they were tired or sad, they said sing, and the golden harp played sweet music. And they had all this because Jack swapped their cow, Milky White, for 5 magic beans.